Hey guys, my name is Alex. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Chicago and I am new to FTMKickstart. So this is my first video. Um, the topic this week is pressure to transition and have surgery. Personally, I have felt most pressure from society, if that makes sense. I guess the pressure I felt is um, if I'm going to live as male, then I should do whatever I can to look as male as I can. I definitely felt the pressure to start T, and I guess since I'm kind of at a stable place in my transition, in terms of passing, the pressure to have top surgery, I feel like I've more imposed on myself, and that's because I feel like it does limit my ability to assimilate as male. I mean, not having top surgery isn't going to affect your ability to, live as male and be read as male, but, it makes it harder to do things like, to go swimming or even to wear certain kinds of clothes, because of binders. So I guess the pressure, that I feel these days is just to have surgery. But in terms of pressure from the community, I mean, I think, and it definitely happens, I think it's because people, as any community develops, as small as even the trans one is, relatively speaking, I think that norms develop out of patterns that develop among a community's members. So as people take a certain path to transition, people that then follow after them expect, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. So then, these norms develop and there becomes a narrative, and people think that that's how they do it. Like when I see new guys, posting on YouTube videos or Tumblrs and asking questions, it seems like the questions that I'm seeing the most are, how do I get on T, or how long until I start seeing these results, or, different kinds of top surgery. I mean, when people are reading about transitioning, these are the things that they want to know, that they're coming in contact with, and the things they want to learn more about. So it seems like there really is a pressure to do it a certain way if you're going to do it. But it's dangerous. I mean, that pressure is extremely dangerous. I mean, because not everybody transitions, wants to transition the same way, and I think what ends up happening is people feel coerced into into transitioning a certain way that they may not feel comfortable with. Like going on T, even though they kind of like the way they look without it, but feel like they can't really be male without it, or having top surgery, feeling maybe they would have been okay not having it, but it seems like what everybody does, so I should do it too, right? It's unfortunate to think that happens, but I'm sure that it does. And also, like, if people, there are definitely issues that happen with, like, going on T, having surgery, and it doesn't go as you plan, or your results don't end up looking like other guys, and people get very competitive and judgmental over things like that, and that just creates new problems. I mean, there's definitely an expectation for how you're going to look after a certain amount of time on T, and so if you don't look, that way, it's people start to get down on themselves, and it's like everybody's body is different. There's some cis guys that don't grow facial hair. I mean, it's just everybody is different, and it's just really important to keep that in mind and to be respectful. I mean, just because somebody doesn't want to transition in a way that you did or that you want to, doesn't make either one of you more trans than the other. I mean, some people, trans guys are very feminine, and I've really noticed a lot of kind of kind of judgment of, more feminine trans guys because they're not masculine enough or something. I don't really know why people get upset about that, but I think it definitely happens, and I think it's because it's hard for people to understand that really want to be masculine as they possibly can. Hard to understand, why does this person want to be feminine, but they're also trans, so maybe it's bringing their own identity into question. Oh, so we're both trans, but this person wants something completely different. And that's the thing. Though we have this in common, there are so many differences among us, and those are going to come out in our transition, and what we prefer, and what we prioritize, and what we decide to do, as far as whether we want to change all of our documentation over to male, or if we just kind of want to appear more male but are okay with our license and other things not reading male. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to transition, and no one is better than another, but I think that the only way that there will be less pressure is if there are more people transitioning in less normative ways, like if there are less people, if there are more people that are willing to transition in ways that are not, the trans norm, and making their transitions more visible so people can see, oh, I can just do this, or I can do that, and that's okay. It won't make me any less of a man or any less, trans. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of the way I see it. It's a really complicated issue, and it's really unfortunate how that pressure manifests, and especially for younger people. I'm 23. When I was 15, 16, I didn't even know what trans meant, and now there's this whole group of people that are already starting their transitions at that age, and it's a really vulnerable time in your life, and you're just figuring, yourself out, and this is a really big thing to be figuring out at that same time. So I think that it's especially important for people to get that message out there, that you can transition however you want to, and don't feel that you have to do this a certain way. Even just coming to this discovery at a young age is a really huge step, and it's whatever you do with that knowledge once you have it, you have to do it with a lot of thought and planning, because it's going to affect the rest of your life, and don't do something because other people are doing it. It's just because it's your life, even when you don't have anything to do with that person who influenced you, or the people that were maybe bullying you or pressuring you. This is going to be your life 20, 30, 40 years later, and so yeah, that's basically how I see it. So, all right, well, thanks for watching.